I don't know about you, but I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. The mornings are definitely feeling like October. In the 40s this morning. It's gonna be a beautiful day today. In the upper 60s. But we don't have heat and hot water right now because we got some stuff we're working on in the house. So this fireplace has come in quite handy. Hey buddy, hey buddy. Hot tea and a hot fire are so simple, but I feel like they make such a big difference. There's my other baby. That good. That good. Everything's better by the fire. It's definitely a stew kind of day. I made most of this beef stew yesterday, and then I made this meat stock, so I'm going to blend those two together and hopefully have some warm, good beef stew for lunch and also for when James is home later. Also, how good is this nightlight that I found? Don't mind the dishes I need to put away, but I found this Real Flame style flickering nightlight, and it is the touch of autumn cozy that this kitchen needed. I'll link it for you if you're interested, but the happiness this brings me in a crazy world was worth every single penny. I'm telling you, if you had told me 10 years ago that I would even be sitting with the ability to make this video, I would have thought you were completely insane. Don't have words for what has happened in my body, for the transformation that has taken place in my body, in my soul, in my brain. Just simply coming to the realization that my body was designed to heal was completely life-changing for me. And I was so sick, you guys. It's not clickbait, it's not exaggeration. I was so sick. There were periods of being bedridden. There was a period of time, I want to say it was about 8 years ago. I always get the number a little shaky because a lot has happened since then, but I want to say it was about 8 years ago where I was at the depths of sickness and I could not get up off the couch. I thought my body was shutting down. I really thought my body was shutting down and I didn't know what to do. I've had multiple chronic illnesses over the span of over 20 years. I have stage 4. If there was a stage 5, I would have had stage 5 endometriosis. I think there's debate on whether there's 4 or 5 stages of it. And because of the endometriosis, I had all sorts of other issues. I had my lung collapse when I was about 19 years old, I think it was. It was 19 or 20. And that was actually when I got my diagnosis. So I started having the symptoms at 12 and didn't get a diagnosis until my lung collapsed at the age of around 19. Hormone imbalance, chronic migraines to the point where they were so severe that they were the kind where I couldn't think, talk, walk. If the house had caught on fire, there's nothing I would have been able to do for myself. Interstitial cystitis, irritable bowel syndrome, oh I know buddy, allergies, histamine intolerance, all sorts of gut issues, leaky gut and the sort, just generalized chronic pain, generalized chronic fatigue, really, really life-sucking in every way imaginable. At 16, my symptoms were so bad that about 1.5 to 2 weeks out of every month, I was basically in my bed. I couldn't go to school, and I had to have homeschooling for my junior year, but I was so used to pain from the endometriosis that I never went to the hospital or anything because I was so used to extreme pain. The endometriosis pain would get to a point where I'd be curled up in a ball in the hallway, unable to walk all the way to the bathroom. And then the deep body aches set in, the deep fatigue, the chronic pain, but the body aches got so bad that I felt it down into the fibers of my muscles and my bones. And I thought I had Lyme's disease. I went and got tested for that. And my body really was slowly shutting down. I really felt alone. I didn't know if there was anyone else experiencing this, because to me, from where I was, it looked like other people didn't have this stuff going on. But since talking about my experience on the internet and going through my healing journey and speaking to other women, I realized that so many women, especially from my generation, are sick with chronic illnesses, different female-related illnesses like fibroids and PCOS and endometriosis and hormonal imbalances and thyroid problems. There are some main reasons I have discovered that are contributing to the incredible rise of chronic illness in our world and people feeling like absolute junk on a daily basis. Our world is polluted. The food we grew up eating in my generation, our parents did not realize, even the parents with good intentions that wanted to cook us healthy food, they did not realize that the food had become very tainted, genetically altered, and sprayed. And we were being experimented on by big pharma, big food, and big government. And a lot of us, when we started developing any issues at all with our hormones, around the age of 12 to 16, we were put on hormonal birth control instead of dealing with the root issue. That's what happened to me at 16. I was put on birth control, and I didn't even know I had endometriosis until I was 19 years old. The water's polluted, and I'm not telling you this to discourage you, because I have, in the midst of all of these things going on in the world, gone on an incredible healing journey where my body has healed in a way that is almost unexplainable. But our water is polluted, our food is deeply polluted. People don't understand how their body works. They don't understand how the full body functions, because a lot of medicine just breaks your body up into body parts and focuses on what medication is going to maybe taper off some of the symptoms going on with that specific body part, but it's not dealing with the body as a whole. We are not told that our body is literally designed to heal itself. Now, there is a point of no turning back. There's a point where you damage something and you break it to the point where it can't be fixed. But there are so many people that have not hit that point. And our bodies were designed to heal, and it is incredible. And once I really realized that, this hope set in. And that little seed of hope was what I needed at the time to give birth to my healing journey. Even in the midst of being such a mess, I would say to myself in the morning, I was made to heal. I was designed to heal. And that was that little bit of hope that I needed so desperately at the time. There are an incredible amount of endocrine disruptors in our world today. In the basic materials that we have in the items, in our homes, in our food, in our water. The chemicals that are being put onto things deeply disrupt the hormonal system in the body. The way that we are stressed out today with overstimulus is creating a cortisol and nervous system imbalance, and it's hard for us to even fathom what that is doing in terms of inflammation and issues in the body. And we're just not being told there are some things that you can start to do today to start to bring your body and your mind out of the sickness cycle and move it into the healing cycle. And this is not a video to bash modern medicine or medicine in general, because sometimes in the acute moment, we need those medicines to function on a daily basis. In emergency situations, we need medicine. In surgical situations, we need talented surgeons that specialize in that field. And I'm so grateful for that. The perfect example is I've had one surgery for the endometriosis where he diagnosed that it was late stage. He said it looked like an explosion happened inside, which was really gentle of him, but he was an expert. And I'm so thankful that I had someone who was so talented and skilled who was going inside my body to look at those things. But the reality is that the conversations I had with this very skilled surgeon afterwards was basically, you can go on this very toxic, very extreme drug for 6 months that basically shuts your pituitary gland down. and then you can go on birth control for the rest of your life. That was his solution, because they don't know any different. And I was not told that my body could heal itself with the right environment and with the right food. I was told that the average woman has 4 to 5 endometriosis surgeries in her life and then ends up getting a hysterectomy. That was not very hopeful to me. And that is something that I said, I do not accept that. I am not setting my belief in that. So there are many moments where modern medicine is incredible and helpful, but our goal should not be set on, oh, I'm going to just be on this medicine forever, or this is just how sick I am going to be. Oh, well. We can utilize those things while we're in the process of coming out of that sickness cycle and entering a healing cycle. And so I want to offer you hope, because I have gone from those extreme symptoms, and I would say overall, with all of the different conditions that I was experiencing at that top severe level that I was experiencing them, and I would say that depending on my stress level at the time, I am anywhere from 75% to 85% better. And if you have experienced severe chronic illness, you know that 75% to 85% better from where you started feels like an absolute miracle. There are genetic and generational factors, and then there's environmental and lifestyle factors. Those are epigenetics. So the genetic and generational things are things that are built into the program, so to speak, and the epigenetics are the things that can override the things that are built into the system. And in my humble opinion, there is a spiritual aspect to this as well. We can be holding on to unforgiveness. We can be operating in some sort of willful sin. And then there is the corporate sin, I call it. It is the sin of things well outside of our control. It can be the sin of people in our family, and it could be sin in very high places. People that we have absolutely no control over what they decide to do in the environment around us and the things they decide to put into our homes and not tell us that it's trying to unalive us until decades later, right? And sometimes they never fess up to it, and people just have to catch on over time. But there are so many things today that are against our health, and yet, by grace and by mercy, our bodies are still trying, like the little engine that could, to heal, because that's what they're designed to do. One of the big things for me was reframing a lot of things, because my relationship with my body had become so damaged and so filled with angst. And so reframing things, like understanding that my symptoms, these things that I felt were harming me, my body was turning on me, symptoms were messages, and the alerts do get louder over time, and the symptoms do intensify. It's telling you there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. We're trying so hard to heal, restore, and rectify it. But something in the environment needs to shift for us to do our job. And so coming out of the sickness cycle into the healing cycle, a big part of that is creating an environment where the body can simply do what the body was designed to do. When we give it what it needs, we hand it the tools and the environment that it needs to thrive and to do its job, it can then begin to enter into the healing cycle. This is one of my things I do to lower my cortisol. I love embroidery. I am working on doing one for each season so that I can use it as my seasonal decor. Pick a spot on the wall and switch these out every season. This is the autumn one. And then this is just a little vintage winter town, Christmas town, I don't know. And this is a little country autumn scene. But anywho, this is a layered process. I've been a pregnancy, birth, and postpartum doula for a long time now. I don't know, what has it been, 15 years more? And worked in the realm of women's health. I started doing that around the time that I realized I may not be able to have my own children. I wanted to be a part of that. with other women. But I needed to come to a lot of deep realities myself and also recognize the fact that a lot of the things we've been told about health over the years is not true. And a lot of it is the opposite of what we've been told. And that, friends, in the beginning is infuriating. And I went through the stages of grief. Forgive and say, okay, yeah, a lot of these corporations and companies, they're fueled by money. The love of money is the root of all evil, not money, but the love of it. Greed, power, whatever it is. And a lot of harm has happened. And then there's just people who are ignorant and they've gone along with the system. They mean well, but they're ignorant and they've given us bad advice. I can't stress that enough about forgiveness. Forgiving yourself, forgiving your body if you're mad at your body. Definitely forgiving God if you're mad at him, because he's the one that built the healing into the program. Forgiving other people in your life who have contributed to the illness out of either just sheer ignorance. Forgiving yourself for the things you've done. I had to go through that process that contributed to the illness, and forgiving the people in high places, the powers in high places. I was a vegetarian for 18 years. I was not a dirty vegetarian. I was very much into health at the time. I was not a junk food vegetarian. And that diet nearly killed me. I had so many nutritional deficiencies. And one of the main things people don't realize is that a ton of our issues today come from a variety of nutritional deficiencies. And that is because of the highly processed food we eat. That is because our soil is depleted. That is because our food has been tampered with. We do not eat as much of the protein and the healthy fats as people used to eat, because those have been falsely demonized. And so there is severe nutritional deficiencies going on, mineral deficiencies, and people don't even realize it. So I created a program called Entering Your Healing Era. And I did this because I wanted to put down everything that I had uncovered in my own healing journey over years and years, and put it all in one place. Because when I was going through my own healing journey, the information was absolutely scattered everywhere. And it's very, very frustrating. And it took me way longer than it should have to get to the heart of a lot of these things. And so I put this Healing Era program together. I wanted to make it affordable, accessible. I get such a high off of seeing other people heal and thrive and do better. I have it laid out in a step-by-step way about foods, hormones, health, environment, sleep. I have 4 recipe bundles in there. And if you're interested in checking out my Healing Era program, I will have it linked in the description box and pinned in the comments below. The course has been 5-star rated. All of the incredible testimonies I have gotten on there really makes my whole life. So I thank you so much. First thing is recognizing you were made to heal. Second thing, they're not symptoms. Start thinking of them as signals that your body is actually trying to heal you. And it's this mindset shift that it sounds simple, but it's not. It's very powerful. Deal with unforgiveness. Really dig into that. And then it's time to lay the foundation of getting out of that sickness cycle. And food, what you put into your body is going to be critical. If we're hyper craving certain things that we shouldn't be eating, a lot of times that is based on nutritional deficiencies. So when we start to deal with that, things get a lot better. And if you're interested in these kind of videos, I can do more of them, but you have to let me know in the comments. Just check in, roll call. Let me know in the comments who you are, what you got going on. If you're looking to enter your healing era, to live a more, to live a more intentional life, and you enjoyed today's video, I would love to have you subscribe and stick around so that we can visit again. I appreciate all of you. Zion appreciates all of you. If you guys didn't know, he and my husband have a separate channel called Wagging Tales, Tales, Unleashed, where they talk all about hacks for being a good holistic pet parent. Right, buddy? And he's the co-host. My battery just tried to die on me at the last second. But shout out to my patrons, members, and Healing Era people. I will see some of you over there. And I just thank God for you. So Lord willing, friends, I will see each and every one of you, beautiful and precious souls, right here on the next one. And never, ever forget that you were made to heal. Bye, friends.